All right, y'all. Welcome to the 500K conversation. I'm really excited to be with you all today and get started on this. This is a class that is about elevating your sales calls with a proven technique so you can turn 10 minutes into a 500K conversion, aka a opportunity, client, prospect, whatever you want to call it, using a signature method that I created called the permission process. And today what we're going to do is develop your own signature sales process. I'm going to teach you the not only the permission process, but go over the actual confidence catalyst method that helped one of my clients land this 500K opportunity today. So drop in the chat, if you don't mind, your business, what you're all about, where you're from, and what you're most excited to learn today from the class. And I know Beverly is kind of running around after a child, so. I want to make this interactive, so we're going to be chatting a lot, and feel free to come off mute, be in the chat, make this as interactive as possible. I don't want to just be talking. I hate talking by myself. All right. So today we're going to learn, possibly why you may not be closing sales at the level that you want. Baby. And we're going to learn some of those causes that might be hindering our conversion rates, and learn why we're not increasing sales. Stacy, environmental consultant at Zero Waste Strategies, and she is in Bastrop, Texas. Beverly, I know, is in the Carolinas, I think South Carolina. Life insurance agent. North Carolina. Awesome. And granddaughter or grandson?
Granddaughter.
Beautiful. Well, welcome, granddaughter. Happy that you're here.
Thank you.
So I just want to share the story with you, how my client went from basically 0 clients to a 500K opportunity and what happened in the process. She and I started working together. Nothing was happening for her, no clients. If she was talking to people, they were either, saying yes and ghosting the sales call, messaging back and forth, and then just crickets, or getting on calls, giving her objections, or not picking up the phone at all. And she thought, hey, the best thing that I need to do right now, she's working in the world of finance, is buy some leads. That's what I'm going to do. That's what everybody else in the industry does. I'm just going to buy some leads. And deep down, she knew this wasn't the answer to her business, but she saw countless other women do it and do it effectively, even though these leads were not high quality and not the people she wanted to be working with. And so after plenty of discussion with this client and telling her, other women that I've worked with, just leads don't work out that way, unless you have a very solid sales process. Your warmest leads are actually right in front of you. So how do we capitalize on that warm market? The other reason she wasn't closing deals was because she didn't have a methodology. She didn't know how to take clients from the problem to the solution. She didn't know how to handle objections throughout the call, rather was facing objections towards the end. And then there was this lack of trust throughout the call. She was leaning away from connecting with the prospect emotionally, and that was hurting her altogether. So what we did was we focused on not only her emotional work, which we're going to do a lot of that today, but we also developed her own signatures methodology in her sales process, which then helped her land not only a 500K client, but a 1.5 million client on Friday last week. So really cool. What we're going to do today in the 90 minutes is learn my signature methodology, the permission process, how to convert your clients from maybe the cold shoulder, cold leads, or warm market to clients, getting them onboarded, and how to do that in a one-to-call close consistently. Create your own signature sales methodology so you're closing clients with ease. How to handle objections throughout a call and not at the end, so you're not feeling like, oh my God, why is this happening at the end of a call? How to notice them throughout a conversation. Learn the confidence catalyst method, so turn that 10 minutes of time into a 500K opportunity. And a couple other things that we're going to discuss today. So in the chat, or you can come off mute, on a scale of 1 to 10, would love to know from you all, how confident, how happy are you right now with your current sales process, your sales methodology? How confident and happy are you? 10, like loving what I'm doing, closing sales, everything's going great. 1, not so much. That's why I'm here. 3. Okay, we've got a 3. Beverly, I know you got like one hand. 4. Okay, awesome. Cool. So if you think about what is that biggest sticking point that's occurring right now in the sales process? Think about what's going on. What's that area of improvement that you personally think that you need help on within your own process? Is it increasing conversions? Is it closing more? Is it becoming more confident? How do I deliver what I'm doing? Is it your tone, your attitude, your own emotional awareness? Maybe how do I pitch? How do I, handle objections when they come up? What is that key thing? So we've got a 3, we've got a 4, and then closing. Stacy, what might be that key sticking point for you? And I'm glad nobody said 10. Otherwise, nobody would be here, right?
Do you mean on the actual sales call or throughout the whole process?
Throughout the whole process.
Getting to the Yeah, probably getting qualified leads.
Qualified leads. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. So when we think of the entire sales process, just to give like a general overview of a process, I like to look at it in several different steps. We have prospecting, and then from prospecting, we have qualifying. Qualifying is probably 80%, if not 90% of what you do from getting somebody qualified to then getting onto a call. And then we have the pre-qualification questionnaire that we'd like to instill in a sales process. So we're qualifying quite a bit. What do we ask from start to finish to then actually get them onto a sales call? When we're on a call, what questions do we ask? How do we ask them? How do we stay in curiosity? And then from there, how do we close the deal and then onboard? So I like to look at it roughly around 5 to 6 steps. The 7th key step to all of this is your emotional intelligence, how you're handling your own personal emotions throughout the entire process, because sales and money are emotional, right? We can get really caught up in, oh my God, I'm not going to close this deal. We get on the call and then we don't. So we allow for that to kind of leak into the process. All right. Let's start sharing the screen with y'all today. Cool. So some of the things of why, you know, having a sales process is really effective, but not having one can also be very detrimental to our overall process, right? And when I say an effective sales process, sometimes we miss a key step, like how do we qualify? How do we handle certain objections that come up throughout the qualifying process? Where do we even find our leads? What's going on when we ask questions on a call? So some of the key things that I think a lot of us wind up missing is, not looking out for subtle cues. If we're getting on calls, let's say throughout the process, even when we're qualifying people, what are those gaps? What are the key words that people are saying that we might be missing out on? Are we shocked when somebody says, I don't need what you're offering? Or we get all the way through a call and somebody says, yeah, this is great, but I'm not ready. And we're like, what the hell happened? I don't know what happened. I'm scared. I'm shocked. I can't believe that, this person is telling me that they're not ready, even though we've gotten all the way here. We're not truly understanding the importance of pre-qualification. We don't have a key system, the flow of how we lead a person from hi, hello, how you doing, to actually closing them. And some of us, myself included, has done this very often where I've wasted time on a call and I don't have like any pre-qualification system in place. And so I get on a call, the person's so unqualified and they've been rambling on, telling me their whole life story. And I don't even have a chance to find out whether or not I can help them because they've just been on and on and on. And then you might be getting on calls and feeling like you're not prepared. You don't know what to say, don't know what to ask. Maybe you're confused of how do I pitch? What do I say? How do I ask questions even when I'm pre-qualifying people? Like, how do I go through that process? So we're going to spend some time on that today. How do we begin having consistency? What's that going to look like for you in the long run? One of the things that I often see with a lot of women, it doesn't matter what the industry is, prior to women even getting in business, it's all been white, crusty old males. We like to call them pale, stale, crusty old male. When I'm working with women in the finance industry, we always say, bald man, blue suit. And the thing that I see often is we're in this model called the old man model. And the old man model is, some 1970s, like post-it note written on an old crusty napkin sales process. Here you go, honey. This is the process you're gonna follow. And what this process has been doing for centuries, for women especially, is not allowing women to actually connect with their prospects on an emotional level. So if you have been wanting to do sales differently and you want better results, you want something that's more effective, but these are some of the symptoms that you're still feeling, it's okay, because this is still taught out in the industry. I'm sure both of you and whoever watches this replay, like me, every single day gets some sort of DM or some robocaller leaving me a voicemail, selling me God knows what, telling me I need what they have, and I don't even know who they are or what they're offering. And what this can lead to a lot of us is a lack in confidence in what we're actually offering. We don't have a methodology. We don't know how to proceed further. We don't trust ourselves. We don't feel safe in selling. We don't even know what our people are offering. We can't connect emotionally because we're firing off messages, or, we go to events and we're like, this is what I do. And people go, cool. My name is Brad. And then we don't have a full belief in what we're offering, and we feel that disconnection from the prospect. And then that's blocking us from receiving money. So, this methodology, the old man model, unfortunately is still being taught and still being used. But here's why it doesn't work. It's pushy, it's ineffective, it's too salesy. We're forcing solutions onto other people. We're not actually taking the time to identify what is that key issue that they have, right? Beverly, you're selling life insurance. So what is that key problem that your people have that you can identify as they're speaking to you? And then Stacy, the environmental problems that companies are facing, what is that core issue that you know how to solve, right? And we're not pushing our solution like you must do this or else. We're not doing that. That's what this old man model teaches. We're working in a space today with a lot of sophisticated buyers. Our people are educated. And the old man model doesn't care about prospects, doesn't care if they're seen, doesn't care if they're heard, doesn't care if they're appreciated, even though that's what we women are trying to do. We're trying to nurture our clients all the way throughout the sales process. It's not built on the foundation of relationship, and it is overwhelming because people are constantly being fed this jargon in their industry, right? A lot of life insurance agents want to tell you, here's why you need an IUL. Okay, well, no one even knows what an IUL is. There's no explanation. No one's telling you what it is. They're just like, here, you need this. No one's explaining why we need to be more environmentally conscious, why we need to actually take the steps to have zero waste, whether it's in a company or environmentally. And we're not fully breaking that down, which is why both of you come in and being able to explain that on a very emotional level, because you're basically being able to solve the problem that your clients have. So if these are sounding familiar, let me know. Let me know in the chat. If you feel like you're kind of operating in this model, that's okay. Totally understand, because I feel like all of us have been here at some point in our life where we've been taught how to sell this way. Okay. So we're going to go over, before we get into a little bit about why you might be here, I just want to mention a little bit about myself. And even though I know both of you and any of those who watch the replay, just a little bit about my background and why me to teach this class. So I spent over a decade in the pharma industry. I grew sales territories, primarily worked in chemical sales within that industry for over a decade. And I grew a territory from less than 100 clients to over 300 clients, made the company 6.5 million in 2 years, and did this all from cold calling and not very warm prospects. Had to really learn how to build relationships and nurture people throughout the process. And what I do today is help service-based CEOs develop signature sales processes that are unique, mouthful, to them, helping them grow their businesses financially, but also learn how to build teams, how to learn how to delegate a lot of the tasks and work that they don't need to be doing, so that they can make more money in less time and also get that time back so they can spend more focused on, let's say, charitable issues or things that they really want to be spending their money on. And this is all done through helping clients create signature sales processes, leading them to trust themselves, build that confidence, build that conviction. And it's all unique to their business and it's all unique to them. So the permission process is what I like to teach. Permission, the definition is free will. How do you give yourself the opportunity to sell in a way that feels most aligned to you? So in other words, if you're very much into feminine energetics, we talk about alignment, aligned sales. I do not like to teach a sales script or a sales process that you need to fit into. It is about developing one that is unique to you and your business with your language, your emotional intelligence weaved in, and how do you solve the problem of the key client or prospect that you're in front of. And your process does that with key methodologies. That's the solution to getting them from point A to point B, whatever that is. And I do this with clients, both one-to-one, VIP days, sessions, and my mastermind called Sell Your Way. What I see between myself and other kind of sales coaches, consultants, whatever you want to call me, spiritual business coach, whatever, is the unique method and being able to not put you in a box. I'm actually wanting you to be outside of the box and really learn how to mix emotions with logic into your process. So you're communicating the value of what you do rather than the benefits. So when we're selling, we're actually painting the picture of results, not the benefits of what we offer. And we're starting to learn how to create a relationship through the value of what we do. So, if this resonates, let me know in the chat. You can drop a number 1 or a yes. You know, much more to my story. I have a 3-year-old who drives me absolutely insane, but I love her. I am a wife, a mom, a dog mom, and I also live in Texas, an hour away from Stacy. So, yeah, it's a good time to be alive. Someone would argue with me in saying that, but I truly believe we're at the forefront of something that's going to be revolutionary in the world, and we need people like ourselves to be at that forefront. So, we're going to talk about you, why you might be here today. And so before, I put this class together, I was thinking about what are all the key things that I've heard over the last couple of years from prospects and said clients. One of the things that I often see people do is chase leads, buy leads, feel like they have to go out of their way to somehow be chasing, right? Chasing. And we're not about that, right? You might be here because you want to learn, how do I stir the emotions of the prospect? How do I get into alignment with their emotional body, their being? How are they going to be so invested into what I'm offering that we can connect on an emotional level? Maybe you want to stop selling benefits and start selling values. So results equal value, outcomes equal value. It's not about the product, but it's about what that product or actual tangible thing that you're selling, how does that bring value to their life, their business, etc. Maybe you're here because you need extra confidence when you're facing objections, or I often hear like, I don't want to be rejected, so I don't even want to sell. You might have been taught techniques. I see some of you in the chat saying like, yeah, I've had a person give me the best sales script. It's not me. I've been tweaking my process over the years. So yeah, you might be here because you've been taught techniques that just don't feel aligned to you. They're not serving your market. They're not serving you. They probably feel really gross and you're looking for a better way. You want to have freedom to be able to sell your way. How does, what you do solve the problem? You're going to hear me say that kind of over and over. How do we develop your own method that is unique to you and your audience? And then you might be here because you're not good, or maybe you are, but you're wanting to improve on how do I build long-lasting relationships with people so they trust me, I trust me in what I'm selling, how I'm selling, and what I'm offering. Cool. All right. These are kind of like hand raisers. So if you've tried these already, you can shoot your hand up. Maybe you've tried, and I've totally done this, where I've mentioned how I help, what I'm offering, like right off the bat to people. And they're like, don't need it, don't want it. But I'm putting the solution up there, I'm putting the solution out there. If you've done this, what we like to do is use the permission process in a different way. We want to use questions that lead to curiosity. We're asking questions that our prospects go, never thought of it this way. You're actually making me really think about how I can kind of flip the script in my mind. We're getting our prospects to see that your offer is the solution and really give themselves permission to sell themselves into what you're offering. Maybe you're one of those people that has gotten on calls, but you don't know what to say. Or you're not even going to get on a call because you don't even know how to approach, approach a sales call. So I've seen countless clients lean out of calls. I don't want to take calls. I don't want to do this. It's scary. It's weird. But that's because they've rushed through the conversation. So what we do is we focus on developing not only the process, but how they're saying what they're saying, their tone in which they're saying it, and the cadence of the conversation. How you want it to look like is exactly the way that we bring that flow into a call. And then it feels more like a conversation rather than you feeling like you have to sell something. Maybe you're reaching out to people and they're like, that's cool, you're great, but I don't need what you have. I'm going to pass. It's not the right time. I'm not interested. So what I've taught clients is to learn how to obliterate objections when they happen, because this is an objection and it's kind of front facing and we tend to ignore it and be like, okay, I guess you don't need what I have, but we don't get curious and asking like, well, why not? Why don't you need it? What's really going on behind the scenes? Chances are, if you've ever gotten a money objection, it's not usually the money that's the objection, it's something else. Something else is going on behind the scenes, and maybe they're not actually seeing the value because we painted the picture of the benefits. So we're looking at objections. We're really looking at why they occur throughout the process, how to hear what they are, notify yourself when they come into play. Maybe you're getting on a call, you've been on the call for about an hour, that person's giving you as much information as possible, but you never get a chance to pitch. You never get a chance to offer what it is that you do. So we're gonna, if we work together, clients learn how to set up the sales call effectively so that you're pitching on that call, whether it's a 1 call or 2 call close. And then lastly, maybe you've been referring or working on clients that are referral or word of mouth, not so sure how to bring business online. You don't have a strategy to do that. So helping clients actually bring that strategy online, working to develop your signature sales process all the way through online, whether you're even getting on a stage to talk about what you do through a paid speaking engagement, or you're going to a networking event, how to actually tell people what you do, how to offer things right then and there. All right, so over the next couple of minutes, I'm going to break down the permission process, how it changes sales, give some time for Q&A at the end, and then teach you the catalyst, a confidence catalyst method. It's so many mouthfuls. And also give you the recording of this document. You'll also get, this is kind of like our workbook, if you will. The information from this class, I personally believe is important, because when you have a signature sales process, approach, and methodology, it's the key to helping your prospects solve their problem. You have the solution. You are the solution. You are bringing the value to them, painting the outcomes of what it is that, you can actually solve for them. Without that roadmap, or without guiding them to achieve those results, chances are, put up a smoke screen, they're going to be really resistant to what you're selling. So in order for us to maximize your success on calls, we really want to emphasize results, value, outcomes, the solutions to the problems, and how do we connect deeply on an emotional level with our prospects. When we're able to do this, then that wall comes down, there's less of resistance, we're able to be more transparent, the client's more transparent with us, we can start focusing on the goals and the needs of those clients. So we don't bring those objections onto a call. It's actually more of a conversation, and it's really easy to close sales to do that. So that's what I want to teach you. So before we get into the permission process, does anyone have questions so far? Any questions, comments, concerns? Yes, no, maybe so. Cool. All right. So gonna teach you the permission process, the confidence catalyst method. My goal is so you walk away today with your signature sales process. I want you to be able to see potentially where the gap is in your actual sales process. What is that methodology that you might already be using? Beverly, you mentioned using a sales script. That's part of the process, but what are the other tangible steps that you might be missing? So we can help start closing more clients, increasing your conversion rates. That's the whole goal of all of this. And I know you might be wanting more help after this class and get some additional support. So I am gonna, definitely go over that at the end of the class, help you learn, how do I sell this? How do I put this all together in my own unique way? How can I achieve, 10K, 20K beyond months for myself and my business? So I've got you covered. I promise we're going to go over that today and dive in a little bit deeper into some of these things. So, sound good? Thumbs up. Good stuff. All right. Awesome. Cool. If you have been kind of following along, content wise, marketing wise, what have you, I worked a while back with probably about 3.5, 4 years ago now, developing a signature methodology. My signature methodology is called the permission process. And I'm going to pop over to another document here in a second. So what I realized is a lot of us women who sell Pretty much 99% of us who have a business are selling. If we're not, somebody else is doing it for us. And when we're selling, we forget that emotions are one of the key components to a sales process. So I was working with this lady, and she's like, hey, I noticed that you bring up emotional intelligence quite a bit. Why not bring it into your process? Why not start talking about it? Because a lot of people wind up robotically selling and they forget how important it is to connect on that deeper level with somebody else. So this process used to be like 7-10 steps. It was very chaotic. And what I did was shorten it into 3 key steps. So to simplify it, I blend what I like to call emotional awareness with business strategy and sales strategy to create tangible results. So in a 3-step process, helping clients with emotional regulation and emotional awareness. These steps are interchangeable. So we've got emotional awareness, emotional regulation, and then creation. So three key components. I'm going to pop over to this document if it wants to load. Right. Okay. So emotional awareness. Within your sales process, it is really important for you to understand what's going on in your own emotional body. Can you recognize what your patterns are, where they come from, where are your traumas, if you will? I hate that word, so I don't like to use it. I like to call it my stories. What are the stories that come up, particularly when it comes to selling? So I find a lot of clients when I'm working with them, they're like, my dad beat me. I'm like, okay, how does that relate to sales? Because I got the shit kicked out of me too, but that doesn't relate to sales. But that trauma might come up and identify in a different way. So we need to be aware of what's going on in our own emotional body. And can we look at it logically, right? So if we look at it logically, we want to learn how to really uncover our own pattern. How does this relate to a specific problem at hand for our client? Maybe this is, we're not getting on enough calls, so we feel that rejection or unworthiness. So where is that, in the body? Maybe we're getting on calls, but we don't know what to ask. Maybe we're speaking too much jargon of what we do, how we do it. Maybe we're facing too many objections. So it's really important for us to have that emotional awareness. And then, it shows up in different parts of our process. What this does is it's going to allow for you to know exactly when a prospect is putting up their emotional defense. So it's like a smoke screen. If you are emotionally intelligent, if you have awareness of what's going on within you, you're going to be able to see what's going on with the client. Okay. You'll be able to read behind the lines, really feel into them, help them become really vulnerable with you because you start asking the right questions that connect deeply on that emotional level. This is going to help you get to the heart of the matter, whether it's an objection or they said something that kind of triggered you to go, I felt that way on a call, exactly where they're at. I can talk with them through this. Second stage is regulation. So we don't want to bring our emotions, people call them negative emotions, I just look at them as emotions, onto calls. We want to come at this from a very neutral space, which is why the confidence catalyst method will play a role into this. We're going to get into that. But the regulation piece is we're not connected to their story. We don't care we empathize with them, but we don't really care about the actual like smokescreen story that they're putting up. And this will often happen. I hear women getting on calls going, well, the money and my body or my team or whatever the story is, we don't need to feed into that story. So if you think about what your clients tell you or prospects tell you, do you find yourself feeding into what they're saying? You can empathize it, but that story is not your story. And when we're feeling emotionally regulated, when our nervous system is regulated, we're not going to push away somebody. We're actually going to learn how to lean in with them. They start selling themselves. They start giving themselves permission to say yes to what it is that you're offering. So it's really important that we constantly regulate ourselves. And on a call, that empathy is going to be key because it shows the prospect that we're actually adopting their emotional way of being. And so this can help us generate long-term relationships, whether or not they buy from us right then and there. Excuse me. And then lastly is what I like to call creation. Creating that signature methodology within the sales process. You know how to begin creating a meaningful transformation. Okay. Meaningful transformation is I know how to get a client from that key problem. I knew which question to ask of, what's going on with that problem. How do they want to solve that issue? To you presenting the offer of, I know exactly how to get you from point A to point B. So we're painting the value rather than the benefits of what we offer. You're going to be able to read them emotionally because you're regulated and you have an offer that they need. This gets done, the creation piece gets done throughout the entire process, from prospecting, qualifying, your pre-qualification system before a call, and then on the actual call. It's really important for us to nail down the creation piece, as well as, making sure that we are emotionally connected with our client as well as ourselves. Cool. So that's the permission process. And then this other lovely little method, this, kind of 10-minute exercise that I want to practice with you all is the confidence catalyst method. So the thing that helped that client land that 500K client herself. What I often see with women, and I've been guilty of this, is we get really attached to the sale. And we're like, it has to happen this way. It has to go my way. So if you're feeling attached to sales calls, prospects, the deal, maybe you didn't close and you're attached to that, what this method is designed to do is, can we not bring how we're feeling, whether we've been on 15 calls that week, that next call, we don't bring our emotions onto the call. And we use this process before we get on calls so we can start detaching from the outcome. I might sound like a broken record, which is not such a bad thing. We want to be broken records because our message gets into the minds and bodies of our people. We are here to create solutions for our prospects. We are here to solve their key problems. And I know both of you have solution-based offerings that help clients solve key issues. The really big gap is, it's not necessarily, hey, I need to convince them, but the value, it's the value of what you bring to the table, being able to paint that picture and go, you need this from a value perspective. The outcomes that I actually can give you based on what I'm offering. All right. If we're bringing emotions to a call, chances of closing are actually really slim. So just keep that in mind as you go forward today. If you learn nothing from this class, I want you to take that away, that your emotions should not, hopefully, dictate the close of a sale. Okay. So I played a game with myself and it worked because I actually do this method. Been kind of wondering, like, how do I put what I do before a sales call or before talking to somebody on a phone call down on paper? So I created 2 different scenarios for you today. And I want to set up the scene. So let's just say you're on a call. You got on the call and you're about to pitch. Okay. And you ask them, hey, you have any questions before next steps? And they say, well, Stacy, this is all great. I'm not there yet. I'm not interested. Thanks. Or Beverly, cool. Like, I don't really need life insurance right now, but I appreciate it. And so they tell you that, and you're like, okay, my time is wasted. This was an absolute joke of an hour. And they say to you, well, 5 minutes ago, you said something to me that really triggered me, really bothered me. And they tell you what it is. And then they put up their wall, because this happens on calls. And then you feel like there's this emotional disconnect between you and this other person. And even though you might have felt like the call was going really well, we got to this point, it didn't go the way that you wanted it to. You've already been on multiple calls that day. Every single person said, no thanks, have a nice day. And, you get to this point where you're like, okay, I'm going to explode. And you actually do explode. Okay. So that's kind of the scenario that I want us to play in. And so you start to get really angry and you feel the need to question them, defend yourself, put up your own wall, protect, shield, sword, whatever weapon of choice words you want to use. And now you're actually frustrated and angry and pissed off. Now, I didn't know baby was going to be here until a couple minutes before the call. So we probably won't be able to act this out, but I want to put on my clock. Okay. And I want to give you 5 minutes of your own time to get angry, get frustrated, cry, punch a pillow. I have a pillow behind me on my chair. I have another chair in the room. I want you to get really frustrated and allow for your emotions to actually come out of your body. Why? When we give our space to actually give ourselves space to feel our emotions, okay? And we release our emotions. We get them out of the body. We don't feel those emotions anymore. And we come to a place of regulation and neutrality. So if you're open to this, at least 5 minutes of, kicking, screaming, crying, planking, journaling on all of the reasons why you're frustrated when it comes to selling. And in this scenario, rejection, objection, person telling you they don't like you, you're not enough. You feel like you had it in the bag and it didn't go the way that you wanted it to. You guys open to that? Yes, no, maybe so? No? Why not?
I had mine this morning.
Okay.
over frustration with an insurance carrier. Like I just had to let it out because I knew if I didn't, I was gonna. So yeah, I was.
Cool.
I tried not to let it out with the person I was on the phone with. I tried to hold it till I got to the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that, you know, whether it's at the beginning of the call or after the call, but not on the call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. And last week there was some things that happened. I was really frustrated, and I knew that day, like I had to get out of the office, and and it was literally, I went in my room and screamed. So I was like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is something that often will not happen with a lot of people, and that emotion then builds up and they block and they're like, I don't need to scream anymore. I'm going to cut myself off from feeling, and I'm just going to continue trying to sell, and it doesn't work my way. So, totally get if you're resistant to this, but I offer encouragement here if you want to play with this later and allowing yourself to feel. You know, it's never about the experience or the circumstance or the person or the event that causes the emotional pain, but rather the willingness to accept life on life's terms. And we need to be able to look at this logically, even though it's an emotional exercise. How do we move forward to the effect rather than sit in the cause? So we don't need to do it. I just wanted to present it. If we had a bunch of people on the call, I would probably single 2 people out and actually make them fight. I've done that with clients where I get on a call with them and I'm like, we're going to battle. We're going to emotionally battle this out because I know you're feeling a certain type of way. So we go there. But one of the key things that I over the years have noticed is I can't change the circumstance, but I can accept the things that I can't change. So if I can accept the things I can't change, I can understand the difference between what I can't and what I can change. I had this conversation with my husband yesterday. He's frustrated with his work. I said, go scream it out. Go punch the pillow. Avery and I call it getting grumpy. So we get grumpy. We get really frustrated together. We hit pillows. We scream, all the things. And we told him, go get grumpy yesterday. So after he came back from getting grumpy, I said, okay, what's the logical next step? Where are we going? And we were able to talk that out. So, you know, feeling the emotions is really key. I've been meditating and doing yoga for a year, and emotional regulation has been my highest priority. Walking away from a call is not a biggie for me. Cool. Okay. Awesome. So this exercise, had we done it, but you already probably know this, prospects can feel us on calls, right? They know how we're feeling. They can pick up on our negative emotions. They can pick up if we're happy, if we're sad, if we're conversational, they can feel that. What happens if we're bringing that crap, our emotional crap, and dumping that baggage into a call is we can tend to give up on a call. We let our emotions get in the way of a sale. We get distracted from that present moment. We're like drifting off in the space or looking at a bunch of things. Sometimes we check out in the moment. We can't relate to them. And it's really hard for us to solve our particular issue if we're not in regulation. And it's going to be really difficult to overcome objections if we stay in our smokescreen. And then we wind up pitching the solution like the old man model, and we don't even know if we can actually help somebody. So we've got the, you know, kind of the negative side exercise to this. And now we've got the lovely part 2. And the lovely part 2 is really that gratitude piece. So this might be something y'all want to try with me, which would be cool. So we're going to look at, best outcome, best case scenario when it comes to somebody saying yes. They're ready to go and you're on the phone with them, you're going to take payment, you're getting ready to sign the contract. But before we even get into all that, there's something called celebration. And I like to call it intentional gratitude. So we really take the time to actually feel the yes, feel somebody's, I'm willing to change. Okay. So if you wouldn't mind to do this with me, I would love for us to kind of go into this exercise, which is actually all about, regulation. How to stay interested in the conversation if you have ADD and severe executive dysfunction. Definitely around, one of the key things I have on my desk, and I'll have it today because my child took it, is a squeezy ball. So I'm left-handed, so I'm writing in the hand, but then I'm also squeezing the ball. And my ADHD brain is, over here. Because we've got right brain, left brain, right? So right brain is logic and left brain is emotions and creativity. Did I get that mixed up? I don't know. I'm very dyslexic. So forgive me. Either way, we're like allowing ourselves to feel in that logical, emotional way. And then we're also getting creative in what we're writing. So we're kind of allowing ourselves to zone in rather than zone out. Plus writing, being able to write down what people are saying, I think is a huge regulator when it comes to ADD or dyslexia or what have you, because we're listening to what that person is saying and we can jot some notes down and then also just have something like whether it's cup. I'm often playing with like a chapstick cap up and down on a call, not allowing anybody to see that, or that squeezy ball, just to allow myself to kind of stay in the moment. Okay, so let's practice this. Drop your pens, feet on the floor if you can, hand on your heart. Go ahead and close those eyes. And I just want you to be here. And let's just feel into the celebration. So I want you to imagine that you just got off the most unbelievable call. They said yes. They paid you in full. They're so excited to work with you. And you take a moment with that prospect to actually celebrate the win. Instead of being really quick to move on to that next activity or the next call, feel the yes. Feel them, feel their heart. And whatever emotion is coming up for you, let yourself go there. Maybe it's joy, love, maybe it's frustration, doubt, or maybe you're just like having an outer body experience because of that yes. And I want you to notice what you're saying to yourself in this moment. And can you fully allow yourself to feel the yes? I want you to think about what emotions are stirring up. Good is not an emotion, by the way. Why are you feeling this particular emotion? Where in the body do you feel this emotion? Where is it sitting? Why? And now I want to invite you to bringing in every client that you have worked with or are working with right now. They're in the room with you. They're surrounding you. You're not in their peripheral view. So they don't actually know that you're there. But you know that they're there. And I want you to notice, what are they saying about you? What have you been able to help them with? How do you make them feel? When they hear your name in a room, what comes up for them? What emotions stir up in their body? And whenever you're ready, you can come back. And I would love to hear your experience. What was the scenario? What happened from just this little simple exercise? What were clients saying? Where were you feeling emotional? Where in the body? Why were you feeling that way? Go ahead.
It's my heart. Grateful. Relieved with the yes. And then with the clients that I've helped for before, their gratitude in, them saying I put their need first, which is how I came in, how I went into this business. That was my first priority, is to treat every client like I would want my own family treated, not just another number.
Mm-hmm.
So just knowing that they felt that they realized that, putting their needs, their best need first, not just for me to get a paycheck.
So what were they saying about you?
Compassionate, kind, knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing I've always tried to, I learned up front, I was told up front by the old man, don't worry about learning the product, just sell it. Well, how can you sell something if you don't know what it is and what it's for? Like how it can be used. So I have really, I would dig into, what exactly does this product do? How can it help this client? What does it have in it that's best? What kind of type of client is it best for? And that's in educating the clients, because most of the time they have no idea about life insurance. They don't know what they're buying. Even if they have a policy, they have no idea what they're paying for.
Yep.
So making sure that I teach and educate them because they're paying for it. They deserve to know what they're paying for.
Yep. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, absolutely.
Stacy?
I guess the first thing that I felt was also relief, that I have actually completed the process that I've been fighting so hard to get a grasp on for a while. And then I can pay my mortgage for another month. And just knowing that I, used my expertise to help them save money and to get buy-in from, their employees and make talking trash fun. So I guess what they're saying about me in the room is that she really knows her shit. She's fun, she's compassionate, she's really easy to work with. And she has our best interests at heart.
Awesome. And you both do. It's very evident to me that you both do. Very clear. And, our experience, what we just went through, is kind of the other side of the coin that clients miss before calls. When we invite our previous clients or people that we're currently working with into that small vision and we hear them, what are they saying? How do they feel about us? They don't know that we're there, but they feel that we're there and they can start talking about us. What are they saying? Neither one of you said anything negative. Neither one of you mentioned money. Clients are like, I didn't mention money. Because it's not about the money. One of my clients, her mom was a financial advisor for 40 years and they had a big giant retirement party for her. And she helped these people, go from, let's say, 500,000 to 2 million and made a bunch of money for all these people. Not one client mentioned money. Every single person said, she came to so-and-so's funeral and she was kind. She was empathetic throughout the entire process when, we had to lay my mom down to rest. She knew exactly how to serve, when to serve, what to do, how to offer, what she was offering. Never did money cross the mind. It was always about how she made them feel. And so your clients are the same way. How are you going to make them feel based on the value and the result that you're actually helping them get to? So, this scenario is about, yes, we can feel our emotions and our gratitude, but once we're on a call, we're not attached to the way the client feels because we're already feeling safe and we're detaching from our own stories, prospect stories. We don't feel the need to actually push the sale when we're feeling this type of way because we're landing in that emotional regulation. And we have more of a propensity to actually solve the person's problem because we're not getting ingrained in that, limiting belief that they might have brought up. We're seeing it from a different perspective and we feel safe. In this exercise, we feel safe. Maybe if we did the other one, you wouldn't have felt so safe. And lastly, when we're emotionally regulated, we're able to read between the lines and we really know what's going on with that client because we can feel them and they can feel us. Okay. So, with that, I want to help you kind of land in this now creation station, if you will, around your actual signature sales process. So I want to identify what are the gaps that are going on in your key processes And, why have a sales process in the first place? To me, sales is the foundation of your business. You can market, you can buy leads, but if you're not selling and closing deals, chances are, the business is just an expensive hobby and not an actual business. Your sales methodology and sales process is the key to solving somebody's problem. It's repeatable, scalable. It can be shared with people if you have a team. And with every single client who goes through your process, you're going to be able to identify like what needs to be tweaked, where can changes happen. It's a valuable asset to your business. And it doesn't matter if you close calls, 1 call, 2 call closes, it doesn't matter. It is that valuable asset that you can repeat over and over again. So, when we are creating our signature process, okay, so I'm gonna share the screen. What I like to do with all clients is, what is that end goal? Where do I want to go? So if we think about our end goal, we want to look at it from a reverse engineering perspective. If my end goal is 100K for the year, or $10,000 months, or week, or whatever, what am I selling at what price point, and how many clients do I need to get there? And what is the actual percentage that I need to close at? So that's one case scenario. If we look at where both of you are actually closing right now, if it's anything less than 40%, how do we get you to 50%, 60% and beyond? We need to take a look at where are we currently closing at. Okay. So this is kind of going to be your little homework assignment to take away from this class. I want you to create, what is my goal? Let's see, it's not on this call. What's my goal? How many clients do I need to get to that goal? How many clients do I need to be talking to reach based on my closing percentage? So if your closing percentage, let's say, is at 50%, and your goal is $100,000, and you're selling $10,000 offers, okay, $10,000 offers. Think about, based on your percentage close rate, 50%, how many people do you need to talk to throughout the year to get to that 100K? Okay. Obviously 10K months is going to put you above, but if you think about it that way, so what is my current close rate? And when we think about our close rate, if it's 20%, that's going to stretch the number. Okay, so we need to be talking to even more people. If our close rate is 60, 70, 80%, it shortens the pool because we're able to close very easily. Now, what is that one core problem that you solve? What is that one key issue that your clients have across the board that that you solve? What's that problem that they have that they don't want anymore? What's standing in their way? What do they think about that problem? What are the things that are keeping them up at night about that problem? And then what is that solution that you offer? Your solution, it's clear, it's concrete. Maybe it's a step-by-step process that you walk clients through. And you're able to present to them when you're on a call. You know how to solve that key core problem. What is it? And can you do this in 3 to 5 steps, 7 to 10 steps, however many steps it actually takes? And then what's the name of it? How do we name it? And there's much more to this, but this is kind of the key to when we're presenting our offer. Can we effectively communicate the value of what it is that we do? So when I'm kind of breaking this down and simplifying it, I like to look at it like this. I provide said solution that helps ideal client with result using my blank, whatever it is, approach, method, your key thing. And I don't know, maybe some of you already have a key solution or approach or method that you're already using. But if you don't, it's an opportunity for you to see that it's really cool that you can create one based on the steps that you move a client from problem to solution. So when we're doing this, whether it's a prospecting call, I don't recommend talking about your methodology in a prospecting call, but when we're qualifying people, does that core problem come up when I'm asking questions during the pre-qualification process? Is it an opportunity for me to actually present my solution even before we get onto a call? And can I identify before we even get on a call what that person's going through? What are they dealing with? What's that problem? So Beverly, if you filled in the blanks, and it doesn't have to be this exact wording, but you want to take a crack at this.
Let me think about it a second, rewrite it down.
Okay.
I can go real quick.
Stacey. Go ahead.
So what I have is I provide waste reduction that helps business owners and managers with saving money using my Cash for Trash Zero Waste Business Academy.
Okay. And do your prospects, do your people understand what that means?
They understand waste minimization and saving money.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then when you're presenting this on a call, what do you say after this? Do you have like how you do this, your methodology, how you're going to break this down for them?
I haven't had too many calls, so it's hard to say. I would probably dive in. The thing that they're probably most concerned with or interested in is how we're going to save the money. So I would dive directly into the potential for cash savings and ask them some questions around their waste and recycling contracts and that kind of thing.
Cool, exactly. So your methodology or your academy, when we're presenting that, is okay, here's how I save you money in 3, 5, 10, however many steps. Because that's the result that they're looking for.
Mhm.
And the problem that they have is what?
Problem that they have, that it's expensive to be wasteful.
Mhm.
And it's just a line item in their budget somewhere. They'll fork out as much as it takes to get trash off their property, but they're not really looking at the full picture, and they can't seem to get buy-in from their employees to actually care.
Okay, and when you're on a call and people are telling you this, they're saying they're not able to get buy-in from the employees. Why do you think that is?
There just hasn't been any concerted effort to condition them and to hold them accountable. So there's a lack of training and education.
I think that's the biggest problem right there. Not enough training, not enough education.
Yeah, and it mucks up their whole program. They get fined.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I'm marketing this, that's what I'm targeting. I'm targeting the training and the education. Because every company has stupid sexual harassment training.
And
And-
accident and safety training.
Yes, and 1980 video of like, oh, you touched me inappropriately. But they don't have zero waste training. They don't have educational modalities on this. So my marketing would
Yes.
be that, and also around this whole piece of like, this is a this is a line item that you're not even aware you have. And certain questions I would be asking is, do you even know where this is on your P&L? Did you even know that you're paying for this? Do you know how much money you're actually paying for this? Would you like to be saving more money on this? Do you realize the repercussions that can actually happen if you don't do this? These are all, problem-based
Yeah.
questions. And what would it look like if you had a solution? What would it look like if you could actually save money on, said line item?
Like, where could you funnel this extra money that you're saving into your business?
Yeah. What would that do for you? And your job is to help them see what that gap is between the problem of what they're experiencing right now, how much money they're actually wasting, how much money is going down the drain, to I have what you need to make this happen. And I think if you have certain questions that you could ask around this, just to dial in and, hey, do you mind if I take a look at this particular line item? Help you calculate, help educate you right then and there. Come in and train your people so they are aware, because again, number one step, awareness. If people aren't aware, they don't even know they have a problem. So you already have your methodology, you already know the how. Now it's just a matter of the questions. What do I ask? And where are my prospects hiding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a big issue.
Yeah.
It's never the same person, business to business. I just have to throw stuff out there and hope it sticks and people come to me.
Well, let's not throw it out and stick it. Let's get it to land. So, I want to give you a challenge, homework, whatever.
Okay.
How comfortable are you, marketing?
In which way? Just
Online?
I mean, I do all my marketing.
Okay. So how's that going for you?
I You mean as far as like conversions?
Are people responding to your marketing?
You know, it's hit or miss.
Okay. When you say hit or miss, what do you mean?
Well, if I post a video, you know, it'll get maybe like 5 or 6 likes. I might get like 200 views or something like that. Doesn't mean they made it through the entire video. And then like, and I'm just thinking LinkedIn here, if I'm posting, you know, like a carousel or a static image post, it usually does a little better. If I post something that's more personal, it does a lot better as well. So I'm doing more folding the personal into the professional realm in my posting.
Good. Okay. And then usually what's a call to action?
When it's a personal post, I don't typically have a call to action.
Yeah.
If I can fold in a business tip in there somewhere, then maybe I can develop a call to action, but it doesn't normally happen on personal posts. If it's more of a business post talking about, you know, these are your problems, here's our solution, book a call today. It's very blatant.
Tips and tricks don't sell. So if we can make it all about the problem and identify what the problem is, and your process is the solution rather than like, okay, the solution is this, all the steps. You just name what the process is and start naming that in the post. There's ways of doing it. Everyone has a different way of marketing. That becomes the solution rather than like, I'm going to walk you through the solution, because that's why they're getting on a call with you. The solution is the call, the sales call. And that
Can
goes,
you put it in an example? Like just a basic outline, like
sure. So basic post outline, we have headline. Educational body. So I've got a headline, like how I helped my client save X amount of dollars with my blank strategy, with your zero waste strategy. And then the intrigue is like, it goes back to the headline. So it highlights the headline of, I was able to help Nancy and Build-A-Bear, I'm making this up, literally save tens of thousands of dollars because we recognized one key issue on her P&L. Here's the shift that we made. And then you go into actually educating people on how you took the problem, created a key solution for that problem, And then your transition is, this is why I help blank have blank.
Mhm.
Interested in learning more, know how you can do this for your business, book a call today. So it's kind of the framework that I like to use for longer form posts. It creates a lot of intrigue with people. And believe it or not, it's so funny. We don't always get like the likes and the comments and all that jazz that we want, but people are watching, they're lurking, they're listening, they're paying
Our
attention,
lurkers, aren't they?
they're creeping, they're out there paying attention. And it's not about who makes the most noise, it's about who offers the most value.
Mhm.
So if we can stand out and paint the picture of the value of what we offer, that lands 9 times out of 10, and people go, I didn't even look at this before. This is really valuable to me. Now, how do I move to the next step? For you, it's the prospecting piece. Where are the people? Where are they hiding? Who are the decision makers
Mhm.
in the sales process? And then how do we get past the front line, past the door? What are the things that we need to be saying to them in order to then get to the call? Create intrigue, literally get them to highlight the problem alongside of you. So it's going to be, what are those key questions that you start to ask in order to get there? And if I had another hour, I would spend helping you craft that. But in due time, my friend. Beverly, did you create your little
Yes,
thing?
wrote a couple of things down. I provide life insurance that helps families with asset protection using my individualized needs assessment. But then I kind of tweaked it.
Okay.
I provide peace of mind solutions that help families protect their most valuable assets using my individualized needs assessment and education.
Okay. Okay. How do I get peace of mind?
By knowing that your family and asset, everything is protected with life insurance.
How do I know that?
Because if anything happens to you, the life insurance is going to pay out to your family and they don't have to worry about any type of financial burden.
That your solution is, oh my God, I just blanked. Sorry.
Financial burden.
Decreasing financial burdens. It's not about peace of mind. We need the tangible piece of it. The tangible piece is not peace of mind. That's intangible. So I get peace of mind because I don't have financial burden.
Okay.
So you are decreasing the financial burdens on a family.
Okay.
Or relieving
Yeah, relieving. I like that word better.
financial burden.
And how you do this is through the needs assessment, but it's even further through the actual offering of the life insurance policy. I would like for you to create, instead of it being like a needs assessment, a more jazzy name.
I had one in the past when I was kind of focusing more on kind of retirement. I called it my actions to abundance plan. Because that was the goal with retirement, is to make sure that you have abundance in retirement. So I did have that before, and now
I don't think that would fit with this.
yeah, because now I mean, I still do retirement planning if it's a need, but I'm trying to focus more my ideal client that through Paula's help trying to focus on kind of like families that are, age range 35 to 50. They have, if there's a family, they have children, they have, that whole need. So So yeah, so I need to come up with a different name.
Yeah, I would definitely have more of a jazzy name there. Because people are gonna go, okay, well, it's individualized, so it's not family focused.
Right.
So make it very family focused, something
Okay.
about the family unit. You know, you can add the spiritual component if you want. Yeah, ChatGPT can be helpful.
Okay.
It's not my personal cup of tea to always use it, but when it comes to naming things, I like to go there.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So I have taken up a lot of your time. I just want to recap today. We covered, a lot around why it's important to develop your own process, the methodology that you create solves the problem solves the problem with your core solutions, helping you increase your chances of conversion. We discussed why, not having a sales process and being in the old man model is not effective anymore, and why that matters. And the key step that the old man model leaves out is emotions. We looked at the permission process, the importance of being aware of your own emotions, how to make the call about the actual client, and the importance of not having emotions on calls. And then we went over the confidence catalyst method, how to create this kind of sales process, just very briefly. How do we get to that goal of where we want to go? What is that core process that we actually use when we're presenting on calls? And how can sales methodologies actually lower resistance when you're demonstrating the value of what you're offering? So I'd love to know from you any key takeaways that you received, anything that stood out from you, maybe that you didn't know before, or you want to implement into what you're already doing into your own process. Cool. And before, you guys, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat or let me know what they are. But I want to know if this was helpful for you. Avery, so if this was helpful for you, and if it was, yes in the comments. And before we get into Q&A, I just want to know, would you rather continue selling the way that you're selling, getting the results that you're getting, or start using a process that focuses on prospects first, rather than the old man model of pushing them towards the sale, being able to effortlessly remove objections throughout the process, increase conversion rates, hopefully way past 40%, around that 50 to 70% range. And if that's you, I want you to walk away from this feeling like, I know where to go. I know what I need to focus on. I know kind of some things that I need to take away from this. How do I start closing? What are those things that I need to do on a personal level that's going to put me at ease, get me into an alignment with a sales strategy so I can get behind what it is that I'm selling. So if you're interested today, I want to offer you what I like to call an SOS sales session, or a sales audit of your business. Where can we dive a little bit deeper into your process right now as it stands? Where can we make those tweaks and upgrade your process together in real time? Okay. These are complimentary sessions. So what we're going to do is really reframe some things that are going on, whether it's, where are my clients? Where are they hiding out? What might I not be saying? What might I need to be saying when I'm on calls? Update your actual current process together rewrite some things, whether it's your script, what you're asking on calls. How do we, have certain cadences, language, all that good stuff. Find out what the gaps are when it comes to your current process, and then handling objections and a couple other things. Why I like to offer these, you took time to actually be here, so it's my gift back to you. You paid for this class, you're here, came on time. I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to help you personalize things so that you do start selling, and you start selling very quickly. And I want to give you the opportunity to build a relationship with me. That's my mission in life, is to create healthy relationships with people. You may or may not see that the permission process is it for you, and that's okay. But at least you get what you need from sitting in a session with somebody that loves sales, and can help you create something that is helpful for you in the long run. So if this is of interest to you, I would love to offer you an audit. The best part of selling value instead of benefits is huge. Great. Awesome. So are either of you interested in the sales audit, sales session? If so, I can drop it here in the chat for you. And like I said, it's complimentary. You're not paying for this. This is my gift back to you for actually being here. I truly do want to help you in your process, because I know that how crucial it is to having sales as part of your business. So let me know.
I'm interested, so.
Okay. So there's the questionnaire. Do either of you have any questions? Any
Mm-mm.
questions from today? Any comments, feedback? Thank you for the feedback around the selling the value is important instead of the benefits. I think a lot of people miss that. Can we identify what the results are going to be from working with us, rather than you get a shiny new pen and here are the components of it? It's like, no one cares. No one cares. So, all right.
Thank you for your patience with me, Brittany, with the baby.
Oh yeah, no problem. Listen, when I first had Avery, it was COVID, and I was on sales calls and calls with the baby on my boob and the whole thing, and it was pretty awkward for me, but people got used to it, and she's
It's life.
perfect. Absolutely. So
It's life, so
it's life. Yeah.